Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your friend here, Raza Is Retro, and I hope everyone is remaining retro. The time has come for me to do my top 10 Nintendo 64 games of all time. These are essentially my favorite games, the games that I have the best memories with. They're not necessarily the best games on the Nintendo 64, but they are games that hold a very special place in my heart. So, without any further ado, let's get right to it, and I hope you enjoy what I have come up with. Well, when it comes to racing games and the Nintendo 64, it really does seem like it's a match made in heaven. You can just do a top 10 of just racing games when it comes to this console. Mickey Speedway USA is not a game that I owned when I was younger. In fact, it was one that I discovered a lot later in life, and I'm glad I did. The game is fantastic. It plays so well, and it looks like a cute game, but let me tell you, it is quite challenging. And I would strongly recommend anybody to give this a try, especially those that do enjoy kart racing games.
In at number 9, Cruis World. What a fantastic game this was. A lot of great racers on the Nintendo 64. The gameplay itself was great. The cars, the levels, the fact that you're, racing all across the globe. And I think one thing that me and my brother really, really loved about this game, an aspect that's very important to us, was the music. Music is so crucial in making a good video game, and this game had some great music. In at number 8 is a game that I do have a lot of love for. If I compare it to other games, it's not the one that I've played a lot of compared to other games on the Nintendo 64, but Mario Tennis was a fantastic game, and there's really one main reason why it made my top 10. Although it is a good game, uh, the reason simply is because it was the only time I had my father play with me for at least a minute or two, and that was like the first time I saw him play Nintendo, and I thought that was just super cool. In at number 7, Ready to Rumble Round 2 Boxing on the Nintendo 64, which was also on the Sega Dreamcast as well. This was such a fantastic boxing game. We used to rent it a lot. We owned it a little later on in life, but man, this game was fun. We always enjoyed it. The characters were great. The fighting itself was pretty fun. It was just so out there. It was over the top, had that arcade style, and lots of fun. I would strongly recommend to try this if you have not. Really fantastic game. And even if you're not into boxing games, like this is a game that I think anyone can enjoy. Truly, I think anyone can enjoy, even if boxing is not your thing. In at number 6 is Fighting Force 64. Now, I used to play this with my friend by the name of Hugo. We basically had a duplex, and his father was living in the basement, and they would come over on the weekends, his kids. And Hugo was one of the kids that I was the closest with. Anyway, Fighting Force 64 was a game that he would rent often, and eventually he ended up owning it. And we would play this a lot. And from the start to the finish, from the intro, the music itself, four great characters that you can choose from. I always used to select like Hawk and Smasher. Um, the actual fighting itself, the fact that you can use guns, the way you can level up your health, your speed, like vending machines you can punch and a coke can would pop up. I mean, just everything about the game was so cool. It was like a proper mid late 90s classic. And I would strongly recommend this one as well. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I would still recommend it. At least give it a go and see if it's something that you like. In at number 5 is GoldenEye 007, possibly one of the most iconic game on the Nintendo 64, and a game that was truly special because it was probably one of the only games that I could truly think of that was based on a movie, and it was a game that was done so well. I mean, just from the start to the finish, the game had everything. It had you engaged. great story, great gameplay. The graphics were good too for its time as well. And I think one of the things that I loved a lot, especially playing with my brother, my sister, and my friends, was the multiplayer mode. It was just fantastic and hours of fun. And if you've never played this classic, then please do yourself a favor and give it a try. I promise you will not be disappointed. A truly fantastic game on a truly fantastic console. In at number 4 is WWF No Mercy, possibly the greatest wrestling game of all time. For me, it is. And there was just so many great things you can do in this one. THQ really did make great wrestling games. This was like the most polished wrestling game that I've seen. From the easy grappling system to the great roster, to a lot of great modes that you could do. I used to enjoy doing survival mode, going on SmackDown Mall, editing, current wrestlers, making your own wrestler. The game you could just spend hours and hours playing, and it's a game that I would truly recommend if no one has ever played it.
Thank you very much.
In at number 3 is WCW versus NWO Revenge. Now, I know No Mercy is the better game. I'm not going to argue that. Obviously, it's the more polished version. We do also have to understand that it came out right after WCW versus NWO Revenge, I think a year after, made by THQ as well. So that is the better game. However, the reason why I have WCW versus NWO Revenge just higher is just simply due to the fact with the memories that I have with this one, because it's the one that I played the most with my brother Sean in terms of wrestling games and in terms of games on the Nintendo 64. And it was also my first wrestling game that I've ever owned. And I was a big WCW fan along with my brother Sean. So it just has a very special place in my heart. The game is fantastic. It plays well. It looks well. Solid, roster. The arenas look great. You could just spend loads of hours playing it. You'll never get bored. Uh, Lots of love for this one. Really, from the bottom of my heart. Just, it's a game that will be with me forever, essentially. In at number 2, a game that I have a lot of love for, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. I got this on my birthday, and it was just such a crucial game for me because it was at a point in time in my life where I had a slight skateboarding phase, although I'm a terrible skateboarder, but I had a lot of love for skate culture back then. I still do to an extent. But anyways, going back to the game itself, it was just hours of me playing this a lot. There was multiplayer as well, but it's not something that I played a lot with the brother and the sister, but I just enjoyed it a lot. There was level editors that you could do, a lot of great skaters that you could choose from. I used to choose guys like Tony Hawk, Rodney Mullen, and Kareem Campbell quite often. And the little missions, the tasks that you had to do were just fantastic. It played well, it looked well, it sounded well, and just another game that will be in my heart for forever. And I think a side note, one thing that I found very cool was that the cartridge was yellow. So number 1 is Mario Kart 64. It's my favorite game. I just have so much love for it. It's the first game that I've owned on the Nintendo 64, thanks to the help of my sister, who helped me pick it out. And I'm just so happy that this was my first game. We play this so much between friends and family, between ourselves. I've also always enjoyed doing time trials. I've enjoyed competing in the Grand Prix. Mushroom Cup, Flower Cup. So many great tracks on this particular game. DK Jungle Way is actually my favorite. A lot of love for Rainbow Road as well, of course. Great selection of characters, each with their strengths and weaknesses. And the battle mode is probably one of the best that I've seen in a racing game. It was always fun, with the 3 balloons and you're trying to eliminate your opponent. There's just so many great memories that I've had with this one, and I'm still playing it today. I play it with my kids as well, and we're creating new memories. So that's my top 10. I hope you've enjoyed. If you want to share your top 10, please feel free to do so, and always remain retro.